CT9DJ9KM via Logbook of the World or the operator's home calls, QSL CK3W and CT9DF7EE via Logbook of the World or Club Logs OQRS. Miguel, EA1BP, will be active as FM/EA1BP for Martinique, IOTA number NA107, from the 21st to the 28th of March. He will be focusing on 17 meters and 12 meters and operating single sideband. Listen for him in the CQ Worldwide WPX single sideband contest, where he will be using the call sign TO70, QSL via Logbook of the World or via his home call. Most of us have heard the phrase, when all else fails, ham radio. Well, our final story for this week carries an alternative thought. When all else fails, aerial drones. Here's Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB, with that story.
Deep snow in the Cascade Mountains of Oregon left two motorists trapped earlier this year in the Willamette National Forest. One of them was a woman who had become stranded in her minivan. The other was a man traveling not far from there. There was rarely any traffic or even maintenance workers on this little-traveled road, but they were able to spot one another and try to find a way out of their predicament. However, the road's remote location put it out of range for cell phone service. The snow grew higher, and the temperatures dropped lower. As the two tried to find a way to get word out that they were in danger, the man realized he might, in fact, have a way out for the both of them after all. He would use line-of-sight communications, the same principle employed by ham radio operators on VHF, UHF, and microwave frequencies, as well as those using satellites. He realized that if he could get his cell phone up high enough, say several hundred feet above the thick treetops, its signal would reach a cell tower, enabling it to send a text message that could carry the details of his distress to a friend. He had the cell phone, and, as luck would have it, he happened to have an aerial drone in his car, and the drone had enough power to make that successful flight. It worked. The man's friend received the text with his location and the details of what had happened, and the sheriff's search and rescue team did the rest. The two motorists and the drone were brought to safety. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
We remind our listeners that young hams who live in the continental United States have an opportunity to make news, if they aren't already doing so, by being a recipient of this year's Amateur Radio Newsline Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger, someone who has talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio. Find application forms on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. Nominations are now open, and they close on May 31st. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or field day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to Amateur News Weekly, Amazon India, Antennapalooza, CQ Magazine, CNN.com, Daniel Sohn, WL7COO, David Behar, K7DB, DXWorld.net, the FCC, 425DX News, National Weather Service, QRZ.com, Radio World, RUV Iceland, shortwaveradio.de, Telangana Today, UK National Hamfest, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
W8WKY. Timeout.
W8WKY.
The weekly Serenade, featuring trivia by Russ and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe, starts in 5 minutes.
Get ready for the Tuesday night serenade starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Man, I miss Russ's introductions for us. CQ for the Tuesday night Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association weekly net. This net comes to you on Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association's W8WKY repeater. Our repeater is located in Doylestown, Ohio. Frequency for this repeater is 147 Mark 390 megahertz. CTCSS code for this repeater is 114 Mark 8. This is a controlled net. We request all traffic come through net control. Emergency or priority traffic may break in as required. My call sign is WA8KOC, though I'll be using the club call this evening, W8WKY for the net. And I will go ahead and turn this over to, actually I'll just ask if there are any stations that would like to make any announcements for the net or for the good of amateur radio. All right, hearing nothing from anybody. Any club announcements, any new business, any information you would desire can be found on W8WKY.org, our club website. And I know there's some VE test sessions coming up. Tonight's net is controlled by myself, WA8KOC Fred. We will have our Beacon net tomorrow night. Dustin and Nick will host that at 10 p.m., early check-ins at 9:30, and also Sunday evenings, 10 p.m., early check-ins at 9:30. And with that, I'll go ahead and say good evening to everybody. Are there any stations that are going to be in and out this evening? Please call one at a time.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Victor Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton. See you in the morning, Fred.
KE8 UIC, Kilo Ecto 8, Uniform India Charlie, Howard, 73.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Juliet Romeo, John in Wandsworth.
Dustin in Medina, in and out.
November 8, Delta Romeo Delta, Don in Marshallville.
Akron, in and out.
If I can pause there, Don, your call sign again, please.
Yeah, it's November 8, Delta Romeo Delta, Don in Marshallville, 73.
All right, Don, we've got you, and I do believe there was another station that came in right behind you. I missed that station. Could that station please re-identify for me?
Yeah, K88FTP, Ron in Canton.
All right, Ron, we've got you. Thank you, folks, for checking in. Any other in and out stations for the net, please call.
GXX, Tom Wadsworth, in and out. November 8, Whiskey Sugar, Bill in New London, in and out.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton, in and out.
All right, I did copy WBAVMW, KE8 UIC, WA8JR, KD8EPC, N8DRD, KA8FTP, WA8GXX, my buddy Tom, N8WS, and KA8MNT. Anyone else?
W8WKY.
Kilowatt Charlie 8, Whiskey Victor Hotel, Dave in North Canton.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David, Sterling, Ohio, in and out.
Kilo 88 CSH, Randy in Akron. Randy in Ribbon, in and out.
net control, and good evening to everybody on the net. N9TN, November 9, Tango November. JJ over here in Boring, Tennessee, and I cannot believe I'm up at this ungodly hour. Anyway, turn it back over to net control. Everybody have a good night.
KG7, Paul and Maslin, out.
All right, I'll try and pick it up there. We did have a few collisions, but I think I've copied everybody correctly. KC8WEH, KE8IME, KD8ZSH, KE8TLB, 2 Randys in a row, N9TN, JJ, and KG7IRJ, Paul down in Maslin. Any corrections? Thanks to each and every one of you for checking in on the net tonight. We will mark you in and out. We do appreciate your presence, and hopefully we'll get a chance to spend more time with you at a later date. Any other stations that would like to check in and out for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Weekly Net, please call W8WKY. All right, hearing nothing else from in and out stations, everybody that checked in and out, thank you so much for being with us here this evening. I miss Russ. I really miss Russ. And hopefully you guys have a good evening, and we'll look forward to talking to you very soon in the near future. Do appreciate it. With that, I'll go ahead and call for stations county by county. We'll start off with Summit County. Any stations from Summit County that would like to check in on the net, please call W8WKY.
Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra. Sorry for the quick key. Fred, I wanted to let you know that I have a trivia question for you tonight if you need it. At any rate, there you have it. And again, I apologize for my lack of netiquette. Back to net, AA8CS.
Gary, I'm going to report you immediately to Nick, KD8SLG, and hopefully he can get you in line. But much appreciated. You know, without Russ here, our trivia master, it's kind of up in the air who's going to provide trivia, but I will call on you for trivia after we get these check-ins listed. And thank you so much for doing that for us, Gary. Sincerely appreciated. Any other stations for the net, please call.
Kilo Gulf 4, Sierra Charlie Kilo, KG4, SCK, Mark, Copley.
Kilo November 6, India Lima, India, and Norton. My name's Bill.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, KE8, CQX, Joe, and West Akron.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
You guys are really doing fabulous this evening. I guess we don't need our Sergeant-at-Arms to keep us in line here. Great hearing, everybody. I'm going to report back what I did copy. Besides AA8CS, I got KG4SGK Mark, KN6ILI, Bill, KE8UQX Joe, and WO3X John. Did I miss anybody? Are there any corrections?
November Tango 8 Delta and T8D, Dave and Copley.
Correction. Kilo November 6, India Lima, India.
My apologies. I did copy you, Bill. Kilo November 6, ILI, India Lima, India. Is that correct?
Affirmative.
Okay, we're good to go. And thank you all, one and all, for checking in. Any other stations from Summit County that would like to check in on the net this evening, please call W8WKY.
Go Radio, Bill in Greene, Ohio.
Okay, I did copy NALTR. Bill, I got you. And there may have been interference, or there may have been a station doubling with you. Was there anybody else?
KF8G, Brian in Norton, in and out.
Kilo 8, Papa Juliet Whiskey, K8PJW.
All right, I also copied KF8G, Brian over in Norton. We'll mark you in and out, Brian. Thanks for being here. Our best to you and Carrie. And also K8PJW, Phil, over in Twinsburg. Anyone else in Summit County for this Tuesday night weekly net? I think it was Mike that checked in here, and I caught, I think, Cuyahoga Falls, but I didn't catch your call sign. Could you please re-identify phonetically for me? Monroe Falls. My apologies, Mike. I copied WB8XCO. Hopefully that's correct. Charlie X-Ray Oscar. We got you, Mike. Thanks for being here with us. Any other stations from Summit County before we moved on to a different county? All right, hearing nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and call for stations that are in Stark County this evening, wishing to check into the net. Any stations from Stark County, please call W8WKY.
Kilo Echo 8 Uniform India Bravo KE8 UIB John in Massillon.
Great to hear you tonight, John. Stand by. Any other stations from Stark County? John, we're glad you're here, but I cannot believe that you are the only station that is going to check in with us from Stark County. One more time. Amateur radio stations in Stark County wishing to check into the Tuesday weekly net for Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, please call W8WKY. All right, no problem. Any stations from Portage County that would like to check in on our net this evening, please call W8WKY.
Good evening, Brad. King Charles 8, Fox Queen Victor, Mark in Aurora and Portage. I'll be around for the duration, KSFQV.
W8.
I did hear Nick down at the other group, so he's going to be following around here soon somewhere. KSFQV.
Okay, Mark, we've got you KC at FQV from Portage County. Any other stations from Portage County for the weekly Tuesday night net? Please call. Alrighty then. Any stations that would like to check in on Tuesday weekly net, for Silvercreek Amateur Radio Station from Wayne County. Please give me a call.
Whiskey 8 Echo Lima, Mike, Eric.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8 Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG, Nick in Orville.
Whiskey 8 Golf Mike Fox, Gary in Worcester.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry from Shreve.
Okay, I'm going to pick it up there. I did copy Eric, W8ELM. Eric, thanks for being here. KD8SLG Nick, W8GMF Gary, and KC8HDP Jerry. Any corrections? And any other stations from Wayne County wishing to check in to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night net, please give me a call. Hearing nothing else, we'll head up to Cuyahoga County. Any stations that would like to check in on the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night net, please call W8WKY.
Good evening. N8BZD. If y'all have a time getting your call sign acknowledged, you some better phonetics. Nobody ate purple zucchini downtown.
N8PZD, Clark, I did copy you and your call sign, and I think you have some information for me, and it was awfully scratchy. Do you want to repeat?
Yeah, just saying for those that have a hard time getting their call sign, recognize, use some funny phonetics.
Clark, my apologies. I cannot copy that, but we do appreciate you being here. I'm going to get back to you shortly here, if you can stand by. Any other stations from Cuyahoga County that would like to check in on Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night and net, please call W8WKY. All right, we're going to open it up to anyone else, anywhere, any county, or out of the area that would like to check in on the Tuesday night net for Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association. Please call W8WKY.
KE8VOX Scott, up here in Vermilion Township, Erie County.
Scott, I should have thought about you. Glad you're here with us this evening. Stand by, we'll get right back to you. Any other stations other than Scott from Erie County? Other stations from outside the area that would like to check in on the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night net, please give me a call, W8WKY. Alrighty then. It's great to hear everybody this evening. We've got plenty of stations checking in with us, and very much appreciated. I will go ahead and call on our illustrious past president and future president, Gary, AA8CS, who's handling the trivia for us this evening. Gary, thank you for being here. I probably should have made contact with somebody prior to the net. My apologies, I got home really late. But I'm sure your trivia question will be fabulous. We'll throw it over to you, say good evening, and see what's new with you. AA8CS, WAWKY.
Good evening, Sarah and friends. It is a pleasure to be here this evening with you with a trivia question. But before I get to the trivia question, I want to thank everyone who voted for me to return as the president. I do want you to consider term limits and maybe impeachment, but beyond that, I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate the vote of confidence. I also want to congratulate the other officers, the slate, Vice President Nick, KD8SLG. Jeff remains the treasurer doing his outstanding job, WATB. Jeff has brought us into the 21st century along with Jason, and that is just a great thing that he has done and has made things and life a whole lot easier. And Secretary Mike Shafter, KE8QWE, it is going to be a pleasure to work with these gentlemen as your officers for the next year. It's going to be a good year. I have a feeling it's going to be a great year. And I do want to thank Jason, NADI, for 2 outstanding years of leadership and progress. We now have north of 150 members, and that is absolutely wonderful and incredible. Okay, and let's see, was there anything else I wanted to say here? Announcement-wise, just we do have dues are due. We're about 70% renewed right now. If you haven't renewed yet, please do so. You can do so online at w8wky.org, and you can also become a member if you would like to do that at w8wky.org. So looking forward to that all happening. Okay, let's grab a second and give you the trivia question. Tonight's trivia question is, considered very hard, by the way, what is the oldest man-made object in Earth's orbit? Let me repeat that. What is the oldest man-made object in Earth's orbit? Here are choices. ISZ-D1. ISZ-D1. That's choice alpha. Letter B, Sputnik 1. Letter B, Sputnik 1. Letter C, Explorer 1. Explorer 1 is letter C. And letter D, that would be Delta, Vanguard 1. Letter D, Vanguard 1. Back to net. This is AA8CS.
W8WKY.
Very hearty congratulations to you, Gary, on assuming the presidency for the club once again. Jason did do a fantastic job these past 2 years, and we appreciate everybody's efforts. Congratulations to you and the rest of the crew here. I know it will be a great year, and counting on it. So anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and move on and get some answers and some communication going here. Gary, that's a fabulous question. It's going to be difficult to figure it out. We'll get to Mark first. KG4, SGK, WAWKY. Good evening, Mark. How are you? What's your answer for this trivia question?
And good evening, SARA Club members, KG4SCK. Man, that is a great trivia question, Gary. No idea. So I'm just going to take a wild guess and pick Delta. And then just another side comment. I was hearing a gentleman earlier in the week problems with static, and replaced his antenna and his cables, and I don't know the answer, but I was just digging and ran across one of those Dave Kassler videos I thought was quite interesting. Episode number 291. In about 7 minutes and 25 seconds into it, he's talking about the wind static. But right at 8 minutes and 40 seconds, he showed an interesting way he grounded his cable. I thought, he said the antenna was unusable, but he had it grounded and radials until he did this other grounding technique. That was episode 291, about 8 minutes and 40 seconds into it. So that's KG4's story. Back to net control.